Bike safety advocates are calling out Mayor Bill de Blasio and New York City officials after 5 cyclists have been killed so far this year on New York City streets. That compares to 10 cyclist deaths in 2018. Police are still looking for the driver who hit and killed a woman cyclist last week. Nate Rodgers is in Williamsburg near the site of that fatal accident. Nate?
Yeah, Bill, I got to tell you, cyclists are outraged, saying New York City streets are far too dangerous. Now, today, a growing memorial sits along Broadway in Brooklyn, remembering 25-year-old Arilla Lawrence. Police say a silver tanker truck struck and killed the avid cyclist Thursday evening while traveling eastbound on Broadway. The driver, Bill, kept going. Lawrence was pronounced dead at the scene.
We have a vehicle of interest and also a driver of interest that we've been able to identify. We are in a process of, looking for any additional video and also witnesses.
According to friends, Lawrence worked as a delivery cyclist in New York City for 4 years. Adam Rosario knew her well.
She was one of the people that helped me get into Messenger. Like when I started improving my bikes.
According to New York City's transportation alternatives, approximately 800,000 New Yorkers ride a bike regularly. Citywide, there are also more than 1,200 miles of protected bike lanes. Cyclists say the NYPD must stop blaming cyclists and hold motorists accountable for reckless driving.
We've seen cases where cyclists have died, and the NYPD has a strategy of ticketing cyclists at that location in the days following, and that really serves no purpose.
Bill, cyclists are also furious because, according to police, there's only been 1 arrest out of the 5 cases this year where cyclists have died. Cyclists are asking for massive improvements to city streets and more protected bike lanes. Finally, Bill, cyclists say they want more consistency from the NYPD in terms of arrests. One cyclist told me he's been ticketed for not riding in the protected bike lane. He says oftentimes those protected bike lanes are blocked by construction materials, delivery trucks, and etc. And so they just want a little bit more consistency. Bill?
Thank you, Nate. All right, stick around. We're going to bring in the 8+ panel, Jeanette Hoffman, Republican strategist, and Bill Caruso, Democratic strategist. Bill, I'm going to start with you. You got an awful lot of cars in Manhattan. You got to have the construction. You got to have the deliveries. It seems to me a lot of these bikers are not paying attention to the rules of the road.
You said it best in this Nate's segment. God forbid, there's 5 people dead this year,
right?
And that's a tragedy. But you know, Nate said there's 1,200 miles of bike lanes, protected bike lanes in Manhattan, in New York City. I mean, that's a significant amount. So it really comes back down to resources. What more can the city do here? Maybe some enforcement. And you do have to abide by traffic rules. You've got to understand, when I ride, I understand that they don't see me. I'm not in a car, I'm in a bike, and particularly in the evening hours. So it's got to be a blend.
It's not like a motorcycle that you can hear it.
Nope.
Right, right? I mean, Jeanette, it is dangerous. You know, I'm a biker, but I'd be really hesitant to ride a bike in New York City.
Yeah, it's really terrifying. I mean, just driving through New York City is really challenging. Right. But for bikers, I think there needs to be a public information campaign for both bikers and drivers. I mean, wear reflective clothing at night. Drivers, stop texting. I think a lot of this can, distracted driving is really dangerous in Manhattan.
I wonder if the bike safety folks understand that the NYPD cracking down on the cyclists, it's actually for their own safety. It's not to punish them.
Absolutely, absolutely. But indeed, since it's a hit and run, the guy needs to be found. Right?
Absolutely. Don't leave the scene of an accident. My God, basic stuff. All right. Thank you, Nate. Thanks, guys.